Hi guys, so welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be looking at my 2000 point ITC list for the tournament this weekend. So it's a little bit of a strange list, you might not quite understand some of the choices that I've made, so I thought I would pretty much make a video explaining just that. So as you can see here, I've got a double battalion. The first battalion is a Silent Shroud battalion, with 3 units of 5 players, each with 1 Caress, 2 Kisses, and an Embrace. I've got a Shadow Seer and a Troop Master. The Troop Master has a Caress and a Neuro Disruptor, and they're in 3 different transports. Then moving on to my second battalion, I've got 3 units of troops, 1 unit of 5 and 2 units of 10. One of the units of 10 does have 6 Neuro Disruptors, there is a reason for that, and the unit of 5 has 4 Fusion Pistols. I then have 15 bikes, all with Haywire Cannons and Zephyr Glaives. I've got a Troop Master with a Kiss and a Fusion Pistol, and I've got a Shadow Seer and a Death Jester, who is my Warlord, and he's got the Warden of the Dead Warlord trait and Curtain Fall. So that's pretty much it in terms of the army. I'm probably going to spend 1 CP for a relic, depending on my matchup, but probably the Star Mist Raiment most times. So let's have a look. This is my first attachment, the Silent Shroud, and the purpose of them is really just to kind of fan out, deny Overwatch, give me a little bit of combat ability. Basically just be annoying, but also reasonably effective. Like, I like having a mixed equipment, I found, because it means that I can spread out all over the board and still have things to deal with any of the units that I might come up against. And obviously I've got my 1 extra player just as an extra wound, so that if I die to Overwatch, then it doesn't really matter too much. Then on my Troop Master, I might even give this one the Star Mist Raiment, simply because they're all going to be in your face and everything else has like a slightly different role. But obviously everything's going to be in transports, going to be nice and simple, really, just throw everything in and hope for the best. So moving on to my Dreaming Shadow detachment, this one might not make so much sense. So with Dreaming Shadow, as you guys know, they can shoot when they die, or attack when they die, which is something that I think might be interesting with the Neuro Disruptors, just because of the range. And I feel like they could potentially kill a few Primaris Marines, and then as they die, they can do that as well. But it gives me some flexibility, so I can put them into Deep Strike, I could hold them in the backfield. I can rush them up the board, but without advancing, I can still use the pistols. It just gives them a little bit of variation, and that -3 AP can be pretty nasty as well. I mean, they're still not the most optimized weapon. However, I think at 5 points, there is a point to bringing them, particularly just for that range. So that's kind of the idea behind them. Then I've got my 15 bikes. Yes, I have lost 3 bikes from my original list, mostly so that I can put more troops in. Obviously, they're going to be holding more like the midfield. Now, this 5-man troop with the fusion pistols, this is pretty much my answer to things like the Iron Hands Dreadnought. So many of you know the Iron Hands Dreadnought can actually take wounds onto infantry, so they can basically swarm intercessors, and then in the shooting phase they can just say, oh well, my intercessors will take the wound instead, and then they still get a feels no pain, all that horrible stuff. So my idea behind this is to throw them into combat where they don't get that strat, and then as they die, they can basically shoot the Dreadnought to death. That's my hope anyway. My other 10-man troop, they're literally just there to hold the backfield, screen out stuff. The other 10-man troop might do the same depending on my matchup, but pretty much these guys are to give me a little bit more survivability and, just to give me a little bit more board control, because I found that when I was only running sort of the 4 transports with 4 troops in them and a bunch of characters, it really wasn't enough to be able to control the board and to be able to really put pressure on my opponent as well, because I was constantly worried about the backfield. Even if you do have those DJs in there, you're going to have something deep striking in there and then just shooting them off the board. So I found that I do want more troops. I do want a bit more infantry, just to give myself a little bit of flexibility. And I want a variety of different tools so that I can use those to combat pretty much anything and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much the list. It does give up Headhunters, it does give up Gangbusters, it does give up Mark for Death. However, if I play it correctly, oh, and Butcher's Bill, but if I play it correctly, then hopefully I can mitigate a lot of that by hiding my characters in transports, by making sure that, I always seem to give up Gangbusters, but I just want the efficiency from my bikes, which is why I've gone for Dreaming Shadow here. And, I've got a few different threats, basically. So I'm looking at a bit of threat saturation, I'm looking at a bit of disruption, I'm looking at a nice varied group of units that can give me lots of different options in game. But that's just my view of it. What do you guys think? Do you like the list? Do you hate it? What kind of lists are you starting to run? Have they changed a lot since the Marine meta started to hit? What is it that you enjoy about your lists? What is it that you found really works? Do you think that I'm wrong for not including a solitaire? All of these questions. I love to hear your feedback, guys. It's really fantastic when you guys get involved because that's why I do this. This is all about the community. So thank you so much for watching, for listening about me ramble on about my new lists. I've been Kit. This has been Ghost of the Webway. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.